the world's biggest tire dump, 50 million and counting. This is how the world's largest tire cemetery started. But why were there so many tires in one place? What did they do with them? And what does it mean for the country that hosted this massive dump? Welcome to our channel. Kuwait is known as the oil reservoir of the Middle East. It's the country with the 5th largest oil reserve globally and the 4th largest producer of oil. The plan was to move all the tires to a new site where they would be recycled into fuel. The project cost around $68 million and was completed in 8 phases. Between December 2012 and May 2014, about 30 million tires were moved to the new facility. And what happens to the tires that can't be recycled? Why else would they have invested so much time and money into building a recycling plant? It's possible that the tires were recycled into fuel as claimed. The global market for recycled tires is expected to reach $600 million by 2027. Recycling tires creates jobs and stimulates economic growth, which can help improve a country's economy. The project may have helped Kuwait boost its economy by providing jobs and other economic opportunities. The project could also have had social benefits in addition to the economic and environmental ones. By 2030, Kuwait plans to reduce its carbon emissions by 75%. The country is also investing in renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. Hopefully, Kuwait will continue to be a leader in sustainability and environmental protection. The removal of the world's largest tire dump is a testament to what can be done when a country is committed to making a change. Let's hope that Kuwait's next big project is an even bigger success. By cleaning up the Sulaibiya landfill, the Kuwaiti government improved the quality of life for people living in the area. Do you think it was effective? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing videos. See you next time. The dump was an eyesore and a potential hazard, so removing it likely made the community a better place to live. There's precedent for this. Between 2004 and 2015, the U.S. produced around 27 million tons of waste tires. Tire recycling isn't always successful, and the process can harm the environment if not done correctly. However, the project was still a good thing overall. It is an example of how a country can take an environmental hazard and turn it into an opportunity for economic and social growth. Of this amount, 11% was used as fuel. Additionally, Kuwait's need for oil products could have influenced the project's outcome. With the world moving towards renewable energy, Kuwait is trying to find ways to stay afloat. By recycling the tires into fuel, Kuwait can reduce its dependence on fossil fuels and generate electricity for the country. To understand how this works, let's take a look at the recycling process. Tires are made from several different components, including rubber, steel, and nylon. These materials can be separated during the recycling process and used to make new products. It improved the quality of life for the people of Kuwait and created jobs and economic opportunities. The project was also an innovative way to deal with an environmental hazard. Instead of simply discarding the tires, the government took steps to recycle them and prevent them from harming the environment. This is something that other countries can learn from. Recycled rubber can be used to make playground surfaces, for example, while the steel and nylon can be used to make new tires. However, this process isn't perfect, and there are some drawbacks. First, not all tires can be recycled. If a tire has been damaged or is made from a different material, it can't be recycled. Even if it can be recycled, the process itself isn't very efficient. It takes a lot of energy and resources to break down and sort through the tires. Furthermore, not all countries have the infrastructure in place to recycle tires effectively. Many tires end up in landfills, even if they could be recycled. Also, despite being touted as an environmentally friendly alternative to virgin materials, recycled tires can be harmful to the environment themselves. A study found that the soil and groundwater in an industrial area in South Africa was contaminated with aromatic hydrocarbons and heavy metals as a result of tire recycling. PAHs are known carcinogens and can cause cancer. Heavy metals such as lead, cadmium, chromium, and zinc can cause a variety of health problems. Therefore, tire recycling needs to be done correctly to prevent the release of these substances into the environment. Finally, there's the issue of how much tire recycling is actually happening. According to the World Bank, only 15% of the world's tires are recycled. The majority of them end up in landfills. However, the operation did not stop there. The Kuwaiti government continued to remove the remaining tires in smaller batches. On January 11, 2020, the last batch of tires was removed. After 32 years, the world's largest tire dump was finally closed. By 2004, the pile of discarded tires reached the astounding number of 30 million. Did they get reused or recycled? Well, the answer isn't straightforward. When the tires were relocated in 2012, it was decided that they would be recycled, and it's logical to assume that this actually happened. However, there aren't any records to confirm it. So we're left wondering if the tires were really recycled. We do know that 28 million tires were shipped to a cement factory in Egypt, where they were burned to produce energy. The remaining 2 million tires were sent to a tire recycling plant in Kuwait. We don't know what happened to the rest of the tires. As a result, it became the world's largest accumulation of scrap tires. Why did this happen? Well, it's simple. For over 2 decades, Kuwait lacked an efficient waste disposal system, especially for industrial waste. Instead, tire dealers stockpiled used tires in giant open heaps near their premises. Eventually, these piles of tires spread to neighboring areas, creating an eyesore and a potential hazard. The situation got so out of hand that in 2006, Kuwait's Director General of the Environment Public Authority, Adel Al-Saini, described the Sulaibiya tire dump as a disaster waiting to happen. And he was right. The state has a total area of around 17,800 square miles and holds the title for the 9th smallest country in the world. With a population of about 4.5 million people, the country has seen a steady increase in population growth in recent decades due to an influx of foreign workers. As the country was building itself up, Kuwait had its share of challenges. In addition to hosting one of the world's biggest oil reserves, Kuwait also hosts the world's biggest tire dump. Yes, you heard right. That's right. Located near the Sulaibiya industrial area, this tire dump is said to have first opened in the late 1980s. On October 15, 2008, a fire broke out at the tire dump and burned for several weeks. Another fire broke out on August 8, 2011, which took more than 24 hours for firefighters to control. These fires are caused by human negligence. The hot Kuwaiti summers also contribute to the problem. Because the temperatures can reach 120 degrees Fahrenheit, the tires just get too hot and catch fire. Not only that, but the toxic fumes generated by burning tires pose serious health risks. Furthermore, the tires are a breeding ground for mosquitoes, increasing the likelihood of infectious diseases like West Nile virus. All these factors combine to make the tire dump a serious environmental hazard, and Kuwait's government finally realized that something needed to be done. In 2012, after 4 years of planning, the Kuwaiti government launched a huge project to relocate the tires from Sulaibiya. So what happened to the tires, you might ask? This raises several questions. Is the whole recycling process actually effective? How is it beneficial to Kuwait? With that said, the Kuwait project probably did its best to ensure that the tires were properly recycled. It's also important to consider the potential economic benefits of recycling tires. However, it's important to remember that the project wasn't perfect. There were certainly drawbacks. There's no denying that getting rid of the dump was the right thing to do. But what's next for Kuwait? The country has already taken steps to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels. What do you think of Kuwait's approach to the tire dump problem?